because I've been researching NAFTA and GATT, and it looks like there's some pathways in that might be helpful. I came across a lawsuit from 2009 that actually started to lead me in that direction, and I can talk to you guys specifically about that when we get a group together. But then, in addition to the hemp cleans, I also started the Team Hemp project. And Team Hemp is really a big umbrella for a lot of projects. The first one you're going to see is Team Hemp House. Team Hemp House will probably be built either in Evergreen, Castle Rock, or possibly in Denver. We're looking at a site just off of Downing and 32nd, which would be zoned MX5, which is mixed-use 5-story potential. Otherwise, it'll be a house. Our goal is to build from foundation to furnishings, including the food and medicine on the table. Obviously, we'll lock up the medicine. So, really that part of it is moving very quickly. We've already gotten a substantial amount of funding to move it forward. We're working with a bank, one of the Native American banks up in North Dakota, South Dakota area, and they want to lend us the rest of the money that we need to do the final build on the building. What that really looks like, though, is it brings all the creators together. Everybody, whether you're an electrician, a carpenter, a craftsman of some sort, an inventor in any way. I have a friend of mine that owns part of Lotus, and so we're trying to get that car here, the hemp car. We have 7 building materials that have been presented to us, including MDF, OSB, roofing tile, flooring tile, insulation, hemp block. Some of you have heard of Hempcrete, which is around, and then that list is going to expand rapidly. Then on top of that, we're working with a slew of the existing hemp companies out there, including Adam, I don't know if he's here, from Hood Lab, who does hemp clothing. And we hope to bridge that gap with all the other companies that are involved. So let me add on one more piece to this, because that hemp house really is a big conversation. But that is, I also do consulting for the hemp industry on the industry side, on the commercial side, on the gosh, this is going to be tough for me. Processing side. Thanks for bearing with me on this. And really, my goal there is to get as much information out to you guys to make sure that we have a working platform of the correct information. There's a lot of misinformation being put out there, a lot of urban legends and myths and so on and so forth, such as the Declaration of Independence being made out of hemp, which is actually the draft. The final was unvellum. So, but that said, the potential of this industry is massive. I'm already talking to a lot of major companies in the U.S. that you guys are familiar with. You've probably heard of Whole Foods is interested in the hemp seed already. I wouldn't be surprised if someone's here already from there. But there are windmill companies, Toyota, there are paper companies. We're working with the Collette brothers on a big paper project. There are cardboard companies that are interested in this. What you're looking at is anything that's petroleum can make, hemp can make too. So anything in this room, except for the glass, is potentially a hemp product. And just a side note on here, the USDA, I might get this title wrong, but one of the government entities has created a bio-preferred program. Please look that up, because 70% of those products could potentially be made from hemp. And so what we're looking at, in my mind, is similar to what happened after World War II when all the infrastructure in Germany and Japan was destroyed. They were able to bring the brand new technology in and leapfrog everybody. We have that same potential in the state of Colorado right now. It's currently, I think it's actually a $500 million retail business in the United States. A lot of the numbers are very conservative because they don't recognize the current interest that already exists. So if you don't know this, the F-22 project, the Lockheed Martin projects, those are all using biocomposites, including hemp. So keep a lookout for what actually is coming down the pipeline. It's not a burlap sack anymore, folks. This can take us into the future, way into the future. I see hemp as a keystone, and it's not something that lives by itself. It has to tie into a lot of these other sustainable, and I hesitate to use that word, but permaculture kind of concepts on steroids, if you will, that will enable us to really create a true economy in the United States and bring infrastructure and manufacturing back. So thank you.
Jason, thank you. Get us all pumped up every time. All right, so I'm going to do about 20 minutes-ish for questions. Oh, and if you want to talk for a few seconds really super fast, no, actually one if you don't mind, because we got to, okay, go ahead really quick. This gentleman participated on 64 and writing some of the amendments.
Yeah, and basically I'm Michael Jacobs. Hi folks, I have to go to work, so I really want to insist on getting on the program real quick and say thank you to everybody that helped Amendment 64. I coordinated it in Boulder County and also assisted in the Hemp Ballot Initiative project that laid the foundation for all of this. And some of those people are here, and I want to acknowledge them, most especially Blair and I. Basically reintroduced hemp to Colorado, as soon many others followed, including Doss, who worked tirelessly also on the Hemp Initiative project, and Laura, and Fred is here, and Julian is here. Forgive me if I forgot anyone.
Please stand up if you guys are really participating. Thank you.
Furthermore, and in conclusion, so we can continue, I would have gotten on the program, incidentally, if somebody had contacted me and I didn't have to read about this in the paper. I should be on every email list. So make sure you all are too, and that it gets managed well. In conclusion, a lot of us have a lot of talent that we've offered for years and years and years. Don't forget about us and include us in this industry. We didn't make a whole lot of money trying to get this day to happen, and don't forget us. We want in, and we have a lot of talent, and I'm really serious about that, and all of us need to be included. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so do we have any questions anyone would like to ask? Laura?
I wanted to ask Laura if you could talk about the testing and how that will work and what the penalties would be if somebody goes over the 0.3.
Okay, thanks for bringing that up. So we don't know how many of you will register, so that's an unknown. And we are looking kind of towards the future, and we know in terms of the resources that we have on the staff, we got no new people. This is it. Okay. That we are going to choose randomly a third of you, and if your name is drawn, you will be working very closely with me, and we will come into your fields, your growing area. It may not be outdoors, and we will work with you, and we will need to test that plant, or the part of the plant that contains the highest level of THC, because as you are probably well aware, it varies by plant part that we might choose to test. So we're going to go for the highest level, the highest portion, the portion of the plant that has the highest level, because that is how we're all going to have an even playing field. That is how Canada does it, and so we're trying to be on the same page as other countries, so that when the barriers come down and import and export of this crop can occur, that we're all speaking the same language. So we'll come to your fields, your areas, and we will sample a portion of the plants as statistically correct as we can. You have to realize, though, that there's a zero tolerance for anything above 0.3 by law, so that if we can't do this statistically, what I mean by statistically correct is that we might have to spend 3 days out in your field to take enough samples to be statistically correct. We're not going to do that to you because you can't afford it, and we can't afford it either. So we will be sampling to the best we can to represent what's out there, and that crop, or that portion of the plant, will be conglomerated and divided into 2 samples. Those will both be taken to our lab. They will dry it. We're following the same protocol as what Canada follows, and so we will publish what we're going to be doing. It's the same as what Canada is doing, and then once that is dried, the plant will be processed, and we'll probably use a GC or an HPLC to do that. If the sample that we test comes back at higher than 0.3, so your waiver is between 0.3 and 1%. That is also what Canada does. It's also what the UN Office of Drug Control does too. So if you're between the 0.3 and the 1, your waiver is that you will not lose your registration. It will not be revoked. You can still register with us in the future. But legally, the way that this is written in the Constitution is that even if it is between the 0.3 and the 1, it's still not considered industrial hemp, and so you won't be allowed to sell it for profit. We will work with you to utilize that crop so that you don't have to destroy it, but you won't be allowed to sell it. Okay? Okay. Yes.
Question becomes, do you have warehouses like you're using for medical cannabis of 40,000 square feet?
Victoria?
A greenhouse and grow hemp.
Victoria, I'm going to need
applies
to interrupt this meeting.
guidelines that you just said.
Yes, as long as in 0.3.
Please briefly finish talking.
I'm sorry, we are in serious violation of the fire code. Serious violation of the fire code. Victoria has signed an agreement saying that she understands what the terms of use are here. The fire code is 50. I've been incredibly lenient. I'm going to have to ask Victoria to ask about 30 of you to leave. My only choice is to call the fire department. This is not safe.
As these people came in that door, I thought you were blocking them from coming in.
All the farmers stay and the rest of us will leave.
We will have another meeting. I do apologize, and I promise it will be at a much bigger place next time.
I don't know where all these people are at.
She's gonna buy it.
The rules and
I actually wanted to get you guys to sign it.
So, let's go now.
Nice to see you. Good to see you. We're in it everywhere. Absolutely. I actually wanted to see what you might sign up about that. I'm sure it's
Our website is
Stop writing it.
no, you do need to, because they're both in place. It's very close to one is the legislative, the other is
Here's my card. You haven't seen me. I haven't talked to you anytime.
I would love that. I would love that. We're not involved in industry or anything, but for deciding to see what is going on and how it plays out.